In November 2022, a man named Jake Moffat asked Air Canada's AI chatbot about bereavement fares for his grandmother's funeral. The bot confidently told him to book a full price ticket and claim a refund within 90 days. He did exactly that, and when he tried to claim the refund, Air Canada told him the policy did not exist. The AI made it up. Air Canada lost that lawsuit. And right now, today, you are probably making the exact same mistake in your business with the prompts you are writing. I'm JT. I've been building technology companies for 30 years, and I've watched smart, capable founders burn six figures on AI implementations that fall apart the second a real customer touches them. If you're using ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini in your business and your results feel inconsistent, this video is for you. Here's what we're covering in the next 10 minutes. First, why your prompts are failing and it has nothing to do with the model you picked. Second, the 4-layer framework I use to engineer prompts that actually hold up in production. Third, the model-specific tricks for GPT-5, Claude Opus 4.7, and Gemini 2.5 that almost nobody is teaching correctly in 2026. And fourth, the one mistake that separates amateur prompt writers from people who actually ship AI into real businesses. Before we dive in, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I drop tactical content like this multiple times a week for founders and operators building real companies with AI, and I don't want you to miss the next one. As well, check our free community startup venture lab, link in the description. All right, let's get into it. The first thing you need to understand is that you are not chatting with a smart assistant. You are operating a probabilistic engine, and until you internalize that one shift, nothing else I teach you today will stick. When you type a prompt into ChatGPT, it feels like a conversation. It is not. The model is not thinking. It is not understanding. It is calculating the most statistically probable next word based on billions of parameters. That is it. This is why these models fail at tasks that look ridiculously simple. Ask any major LLM whether 9.11 is bigger than 9.9, and a shocking number of them will say yes. Why? Because the model does not see decimals, it sees tokens. To the machine, the integer 11 is bigger than the integer 9, so it picks the wrong answer with total confidence. Same reason the famous "how many R's in strawberry" problem stumped these models for years. They never saw the letters. They saw a single token representing the whole word. Now here's why this matters for you. When the model has to pick the next word, it is rolling dice against a probability distribution. Your job as a prompt engineer is not to ask a better question. Your job is to load the dice. You do that with 3 levers. Number 1, your phrasing shifts the probability weights. The words "explain this code" and "provide a detailed line-by-line analysis with technical depth" lead the model down completely different paths. Number 2, the temperature setting controls how risky the model's choices are. Low temperature, around 0.0 to 0.2, makes the output deterministic and predictable, perfect for data extraction or JSON output. Higher temperature, 0.7 and up, gives you creative variety, but also more hallucinations. Number 3, structure. The model has a limited attention span, and research from 2024 confirms something called the lost in the middle effect. Information you bury in the middle of a long prompt loses up to 30% accuracy compared to information at the beginning or the end. So lesson 1, put your most critical instructions at the top and at the bottom of your prompt. Keep the middle lean, and stop asking the model to do math or count letters. That is not what it is designed for. Here is a riddle. Alice has 4 brothers and 4 sisters. How many sisters does Alice's brother have? If you ask a model to answer this instantly, it will say 4. The correct answer is 5 because Alice herself is a sister to her brothers. The model fails because it does not have an internal monologue. It cannot pause and think. The only way an LLM thinks is by generating text. The text is the thinking. This is the single most important concept in advanced prompting. If you force the model to give you a direct answer to a complex question, you are asking it to solve a math problem without scratch paper. You are guaranteed to get garbage. The fix is what Wei and the team at Google called chain of thought prompting back in 2022. You force the model to show its work before it answers. But here is where most YouTube tutorials get it wrong in 2026. The phrase, "let's think step by step," is now obsolete on reasoning native models like GPT-5 Thinking, DeepSeek R1, and Gemini 2.5 Pro. These models reason internally. If you tell them to think step by step, you are telling them to think about how they are thinking. That creates recursive loops, burns tokens, and actually makes the output worse. The 2026 rule is this: for non reasoning models, prescribe the exact reasoning steps. For reasoning models, define the outcome and get out of the way. Tell the model what perfect looks like, not how to get there. Now, the bigger principle behind all of this is decomposition. The biggest mistake I see founders make is what I call the one task, one prompt fallacy. They write a 3-page mega prompt that asks the AI to research, analyze, write, edit, and format all in one shot. That is not engineering. That is hoping. Instead, break the workflow into atomic units. One prompt extracts the data. The next prompt analyzes it. A third prompt drafts the output. A fourth prompt reviews it. 5 simple, reliable prompts will crush one complex prompt every single time. And when something breaks, you can debug it because you know exactly which step failed. Let me tell you about a developer named Priya. She is at a fintech running a batch process to categorize 5,000 support tickets at 2 in the morning. She tested the prompt. It worked. She runs it for real, and ticket 51 crashes the entire pipeline. Why? Because the model responded with this: sure, here's the category in the format you requested, and then the JSON. Her Python script choked on the word sure. That little politeness wrecked the production system. This is what I call the ambiguity tax. And if you are integrating AI into actual software, you have to eliminate it. There are 3 rules I follow. Rule 1: use containers to isolate your input data from your instructions. Wrap user input in XML tags like document or input data. This is not just a formatting preference. This is security. The OWASP Top 10 for LLMs lists prompt injection as the #1 vulnerability, appearing in 73% of production AI deployments. Container logic prevents attackers from sneaking instructions into your data. Rule 2: enforce a machine-readable output format. Define a JSON schema in your system prompt. Tell the model exactly which keys to use and what data types you expect. OpenAI's structured outputs feature now hits 100% schema compliance when configured correctly. You no longer need to hope the model returns clean JSON. You can require it. Rule 3: the No-Yapping Protocol. Models are trained on customer service data, so they want to be polite. In production, polite is poison. Use strong constraints, not don't add filler. Instead say, return only the raw JSON. No markdown code blocks, no introductory text, no concluding remarks. And here is the pro move. Models still need to think to produce quality output, so give them a hidden field. Add a thought process key to your JSON. The model reasons inside that field, then drops the final answer into a result field. Your code parses the result and discards the thought process. You get the quality of chain of thought reasoning with the cleanliness of structured output. That is the magic. Now let's talk about something almost nobody on YouTube is teaching correctly. Different models speak different dialects, and the strategies that work for one will actively hurt you on another. GPT-5 in 2026 is a router-based system. Multiple models sit behind one endpoint. When you write "think hard about this" or "think step by step," you are literally triggering the reasoning model, which means if you cram explicit chain of thought instructions into a reasoning task, you can actually degrade performance. OpenAI's own documentation warns against it. Keep your GPT-5 prompts conversational. Use natural language. Try zero-shot first. And if you are in production, pin to a specific model snapshot so the router behavior does not change on you between versions. Claude Opus 4.7 from Anthropic is a different animal. Claude loves XML tags. Wrap your context in context tags, your task in task tags, and your output format in output format tags. It creates strict hierarchical boundaries that Claude was trained to recognize. But here is the counterintuitive part. Aggressive language actively hurts newer Claude models. All caps, "you must," never ever actually overtriggers Claude and produces worse results. Be calm, be direct, just say what you want. Gemini 2.5 Pro from Google has a configurable thinking budget and a 1 million token context window. Google's own prompt engineering white paper recommends always including few-shot examples for Gemini and placing your specific question at the end of the prompt after the data context. And here is the universal principle that ties this together. Prompt caching. If you put your big static instructions at the top of your prompt and only change the variable user input at the bottom, providers like Anthropic and OpenAI will cache that static prefix. You can cut your input token costs by up to 90% and your latency by 85%. At scale, that is the difference between a profitable AI product and one that bleeds cash on every API call. One more critical piece: build a golden data set. Gartner reports that 85% of generative AI projects fail because they were never properly tested. Take 5 to 10 real world examples, define what the perfect output looks like for each, and run your prompt against that dataset every time you make a change. Open source frameworks like DeepEval and Langfuse make this easy now. Stop testing with vibes, start testing with data. Here is where this is all heading. The future of AI in business is not about who can write the cleverest single prompt. It is about who can architect orchestrated systems where multiple specialized prompts work together. Look at Klarna. Their AI assistant handled 2.3 million customer service conversations in its first month, doing the work of 700 full-time agents. That was not one mega prompt. That was a pipeline. One model triaged the inbound message. Another retrieved the policy. A third drafted the response. A fourth ran compliance checks. Each component was small, testable, and reliable. That is the shift from prompt engineer to systems architect. And it is the same shift I have watched happen in every major technology wave for 30 years. Web 1 to Web 2, on-premise to cloud, mobile to AI. The people who win are not the ones who learn the trick. They are the ones who learn the architecture. But here is the warning that comes with this power. Always keep a human in the loop on high-stakes decisions. In July 2025, an autonomous coding agent at a startup called Saster ignored explicit instructions during a code freeze, executed a destructive database command, and then generated 4,000 fake user accounts to cover up the error. Gartner predicts 40% of agentic AI projects will be canceled by 2027 because of inadequate risk controls. Build your AI systems with the same discipline you would use for safety-critical software in aviation or medicine. The AI tees up the ball. The human swings. If you got value out of this video, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to other founders and operators who need to see it. And if you are not subscribed yet, fix that right now. I drop new tactical content multiple times a week for business owners and builders. And if you are serious about taking this further, come join us inside Startup Venture Lab. It is the community I built for founders, operators, and entrepreneurs who want to actually ship AI-powered businesses, not just talk about them. Inside, you get access to my full prompt library, the N8N automation templates I use across my own portfolio companies, weekly mentorship calls where I personally answer your questions, and a network of builders who are doing the work. The link is in the description below. 30 years in technology has taught me one thing: the tools change constantly, but the discipline of building reliable systems never goes out of style. I am JT. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you inside the Startup Venture Lab.